Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to Tell to Trevor. Today on my podcast, I have let you give yourself an introduction.
I'm Trent Nitro, aka the most dapper man in the industry, aka the most resilient man in the industry, aka Mr. 100% charge, 100% fuel. So there you
Um, so Trent, what sparked your interest in the professional wrestling industry?
go. It I've always been a fan of it since when I was about 6 years old. My uncles and them, they loved it.
Um, who were the
And down the
wrestlers you
Mississippi,
grew up idolizing?
uh, uh, let's see, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Booker T. Yeah,
Or what were you saying?
yeah. I said Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Booker T. Um, that's pretty much about it. And then I didn't really get into like the '80s style type of wrestling until I started getting a little bit obsessed with it in like 2005, and I started learning about like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, and Randy Savage, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and those guys, and going back and watching the matches, especially with Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I think they were like the best two workers in the '80s, in my opinion.
Um, how did you get your start in the wrestling industry?
I first started in September of 2008 because a lady I was working for at a little concession stand, she knew a police cop that was an indie pro wrestler, and she knew I loved wrestling so much, and that was the topic for my senior project in my senior year. The topic was professional wrestling training schools, and the guy that was mentoring me at the time, he was a pro wrestler, and he was a cop at the same time, and that's how that got started. The company was called Ring Wars Carolina. Um, I first started training under them in 2008, and I took a break. At first, when I first saw that ring, it was like, a kid in a playground. It's like I just had to get in that ring.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody, once they actually see an actual ring and they get into it, and it's like they're so excited, that the honeymoon and the enthusiasm is there. Um, it's just I can't explain it. It was awesome to me. But I took a break from it because I was going to college at the time, and I ended up dropping out of college. Like I don't going there for like 2 years, and then end up dropping out of college. And like that year, I was working at jobs. This is like during 2010 to 2011, and I was working jobs, working at restaurants and stuff like that. And I was just all I thought about was wrestling. And I was like, I
Yeah.
got to get back into wrestling. I got to get back into training. And you know, late 2011, I started going back to training at the Ring War School, and on into 2012, and I was just going there constantly, constantly. And I didn't have my first match until there was a. I remember it was the summer of 2012. I think it was June or July of 2012, and there was this tag team called Real Steel. This It was a guy named Reggie Reason and Jason Steele. They were a tag team. Well, they were the tag team champions at that time, and we had a show in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and they didn't show. And the Jason Steele guy, he didn't show up for some reason, and so the promoter was like, well, we need somebody to fill in for to be the tag champs for one night. And they was like, well, Trent, here's your chance. You can suit up. You have your gear with you, and that's like a no brainer in the business. It's like you always bring your gear with you, whether you're wrestling or not. You just always have to have your gear bag because you never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had my gear bag that I was actually supposed to work security that night, but I ended up wrestling because I had been training for so long. They let me fill in for this guy. So it was like the first night I was a tag team champion for like maybe about 10 minutes, My debut match, I was a tag team champion for about 10 minutes. And then I ended up getting a pin. We ended up losing to this team called the Crayons, and they ended up, going over. But it was pretty cool, I guess. My debut match, I was a tag champ, which is very unheard of, you know, unlikely, unusual. You don't hear stories like
Yeah.
that. I started.
Um, what was your first match like?
Uh, I was excited. I remember I was at this. It was at this. I think it was called the John D. Fuller Rec Center. It's like this big gym, but it looked like the outside looked like an arena, almost. So it made the atmosphere even better. Um, it was. I was excited. That's all I can say. It's like I was there. I was excited. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I think every wrestler has this honeymoon phase to where it's like you get into the business and it's like you see that ring and it's like a relationship almost where you're in that excitement honeymoon phase. Not to say that the honeymoon phase now is it's not as I want to say my relationship with wrestling now is not like it used to be. Of course, that's with anything, any relationship. But it's like back then it was you. I had people telling me, you know, you're not going to be a pro wrestler. We don't want you to do this wrestling thing. But I didn't care what they said because I was so gun ho on it. You know, uh, it was exciting. My first match uh, it was good. I didn't care. I didn't care what anyone thought. I just wanted to get out there and get in that ring and show what I had. And, you know,
Um, and then what wrestling school did you go to?
the first school I went to was Ring Wars Academy. The promotion was called Ring Wars Carolina, and then the school was called like Ring Wars Academy or something like that. I was with them from 2012 to 2015. So, 2012 that was my debut. 2013, um, I was still like in a excitement honeymoon phase, but I started branching out to other promotions because I had actually moved away from the town into another part of the Carolinas, and I started searching out for these other promotions, and that's when this promotion called Shockwave Wrestling Entertainment was like the second promotion I ever worked for in my career, and the promoter there, he liked me, and he took care of me. I used to spend the night at his house on the weekends whenever we'd had shows. He would just let me crash at his place, and then I would help set up the ring and stuff like that. At his shows, I'd help set the ring up, tear it down, whatever. Um, Even the matches that I had there, it was like they gave me a good amount of time to have those matches, even though it was me going under. I didn't care. Like I said at that time, I was so excited about being in the business. Nobody could take that enthusiasm away from me. And before I even became Trent Nitro, I was little brother. That was my first persona. But the problem was during my debut match, back when I first started, that's the name that the promoter gave me, was Little Brother. I didn't know who Little Brother was or what he was about. I was just going on. I was just trying to make up stuff as I went. You know what I'm saying? Like his hometown, what he wore, uh, his style, his persona. I was just trying to make things up as they went, and it was like it wasn't clicking because other promotions I went to, that second promotion that I was telling you about, they didn't like the management there, the people behind the suits, as you will, they didn't like the Little Brother. I mean, they liked me as the person, but like my persona, they didn't like it. And that's what the promoter, he would tell me that when we'd go out to eat, at these places like lunch and stuff like that. And that's the thing about wrestling. It's like wrestling is such a shady business. It's like people can they can smile in your face, shake your hand, give you a hug, whatever. But behind the scenes, you don't know how they really feel. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they really feel about you. And so it's like, you know, well, good grief. Like, I mean, they could have told me that instead of just telling you, going to management, telling you, the promoter, and telling you that they don't like me. And I have to do a he said, she said type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Um, they didn't like Little Brother. So, this is like 2013 when I debuted for that promotion, Shockwave. Well, then like 2 months after that, I got hit by a car, helping my cousin and them, post up signs to get rid of pets. I got hit by a car and I broke my femur bone. And I was in the ICU. I was out for like, I was in the hospital for like a whole month. I think it was late September and October of 2013. I was in the hospital that whole month. Um, the doctors was like, "Well, you're lucky enough to be alive because not too many people." I had a collapsed lung. I had I think it was pierced artery. I broke my femur bone. Femur bone is like the bone in your leg. It's the hardest bone to break. Uh, and a lot of people. Some of my family members was like, "Well, we can't wait to see you get back in the ring," and the others was like, "Well, we don't want you to do that anymore." But I was so anxious to get back in the ring. Well, at the same time, the promotion, my home promotion at the time, um, I did not plan to come back as Little Brother. Um, that's when Trent Nitro was born because I want to say I didn't get back into the ring until 2014. I think it was October of 2014. It's like my first time being back in the ring because of the femur bone. It took me, I want to say about 9 months for it to heal up, the whole deal. So when I first came back, it was kind of I want to say I was like physically, I was on my A game because in my opinion, I had gotten bigger, more ripped, and more muscular at that time because I was in the gym like religiously, you know. And when I came back that time, it was um it was pretty cool. Then 2015, I uh I was still with that same promotion, but that's when I got with a group of these guys. Well, 2014 is when I got with a group of these guys. I started meeting a referee, and of course, the guy I was telling you about, the tag team, with Reggie Reason. I started hanging out with him and started forming a bond with these people at my home promotion. And we were kind of getting sick and tired of the way things were going with that promotion. And fast forward to, I want to say my last match with them was my last great match with them was May of 2015. Um, I wrestled 3 matches that day at a water festival outside. It was really hot, but I would think that that match against one of my trainers was like the highlight, one of the highlights of my career. And but like 3 weeks after that, we had another show in Lumberton, and me and this guy, we got put in this tag team, and we uh we basically got squashed by our buddy. But all of us were getting sick and tired of that promotion, the head guy of that promotion, and that's when I decided to say, you know what, I'm just gonna go here and see what I can find. And luckily, through networking and people that I was friends with in my home promotion, they were getting sick and tired as well, and they were trying to branch out. So that's when I started branching out, and that's when I left. I left that promotion, and if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for me leaving that and branching out on my own and trying to uh, get my feet wet, um, nobody would know who I am today. That's how I look at it. I'd still be stuck there. You know what I'm saying?
Can you share a memorable moment from your career so far?
Um, I would say it was the actually two memorable moments. It was the program between me and Jay Mays at Warzone Wrestling. We had that match in Fayetteville where he was the hometown hero and I was the heel at that time, and the end result of the script of the thing was I was supposed to hit him over the head with a guitar, and I ended up losing the match, of course, because I mean, they loved him, they hated me, but the feud was a hot feud, you know. I was over as a heel, and he was very over as a face. And the second, actually three of them, to be honest. The first one, the first memorable moment actually came in 2015. That last match I told you I had outside at the lake. It was me against my trainer, Hang Time. It was me versus him in it was the White Lake Water Festival. It was me versus him, and it was actually the main event of that entire day because that was like the last match. But it was a pretty cool match. I loved it. It, I mean, I got beat up, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And then the third, uh, the third memorable moment is me against my buddy, me against Diego Vasquez in Warzone Wrestling. This is summer 2016, I think it is. Yeah, summer 2016. Me against him in they call it a Warzone rules match, which is basically like a hardcore, no rules, no holds barred match. But we didn't do anything like stupid wise, like barbed wires or light tubes. We just, it wasn't anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't. I'd do that match all over again if I had the chance. I think as far as my best year in wrestling, I would say 2016. That was like the peak of my career so far because I was traveling everywhere. I was going everywhere. I was getting booked everywhere, pretty much. Promoters were some of these promoters were for me, and that's how I speaking of the promotion, there was a promotion called UPWA in Wilmington, and the promoter, he was trying to give me a push, and with that push, it was like I was in this feud with Mo Hill for about 5 months, and it was leading up to Mo Hill had a family, so the family that he had, I was targeting them, but it was leading up to me versus him at the Summer Showdown show in Wilmington. At this, I think it was like this big arena called I can't remember the name of that rec center, but it was a pretty big rec center. But it was leading up to that match. It was me versus him for the cruiserweight title, the cruiserweight belt. So that was like that match. I put that match up there too against as one of my good matches that I've had with him. Um, that was the match that I won the cruiserweight belt. with. But I would there's not too I'm my own biggest critic. Like nobody can criticize me more than me. So if you look at my matches and you like, man, that match you had that sucked or you suck, I would say, nobody can criticize me more than me because it's like even if I have a good match, I'm gonna look back at it and it's like I should have did this, I should have did that, I should have did that better. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Can you describe the feeling of winning your first championship?
uh, it was pretty, it was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't have an ego on me. It's just like, this is pretty cool. I was winning my belt. Looks pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool.
How do you handle the mental and emotional aspects of wrestling?
Uh, I would just say, I just go to the gym, put some music in my head. And with the promotion I'm with now, Next Level Pro Wrestling, which I'm gonna go out here and push some people. CJ Evans, you've interviewed him before. Um,
Yep.
he is a phenomenal wrestler. He's he's a humble person inside the ring and outside the ring. He's I expect nothing but big things out of him. I really want nothing but big things out of him because he's one of my peers and he deserves. I think he deserves the world. You know what I'm saying? He deserves everything. He deserves to get signed. He deserves to travel the world. He deserves to go overseas. He deserves all of that. It's the same thing with pretty much everyone in Next Level Pro Wrestling. And I'm gonna shoot some names out here that I mean that's the promotion I'm with now. Some of these names you've probably heard of, and some of them you probably have not heard of. And next to CJ Evans is one another guy who's really really good. He's one of my former tag team partners, Jack Tatum. I
Yep.
think
I've
he's
heard of him.
yeah, he's phenomenal. He's another one that should be signed somewhere. He's another one that should be traveling all over the world right now. He's another one that should be up there in the big three, either WWE, AEW, or TNA Impact, pretty much. And pretty much, let's see another one. Some female talent. Here's a female talent I'm very fond of. CC Young, if you ever heard of her.
Yes.
She's phenomenal. I think I expect nothing but the best out of her. I want nothing but the best out of her. I want nothing but great things to happen for her. She's another one that deserves to get signed, deserves to travel the world, deserves to get signed to the big three. Riley Rose, another one. She's another one that deserves to get signed, deserves to get to the big three. Pretty much, if you look up Next Level Pro Wrestling, pretty much everyone in that company, um, I think deserves the world. Everyone in that company, I think, deserves to get signed somewhere in the big three, either WWE, AEW, or TNA. And that's not just me being um a favoritism or whatever you call it. It's just me being real. I think
Yeah.
that everyone there deserves to get signed somewhere because not only are they good people behind the scenes, but they're not only are they good people in front of like the camera, but they're also cool people behind the scenes. So I think they deserve, if anyone in this business deserves the success, and we know how wrestling is, it's like wrestling is such a cutthroat, backstabbing business. But for me, when it comes to Next Level Pro Wrestling and the entire company and everyone there, for me, there is no jealousy towards anyone. All I want to do is see everyone there make it, if that makes any sense. I just want to see everyone
Yeah.
there get their flowers, make some money, make some great money in this business because they all deserve it. That's what I think. Because that's my trainer. Speaking of Ring Wars Carolina, the guy I was training under, the second guy I was training under, that's his company now. Hang Time. He ended up leaving the Ring Wars company, as we all did. Um, and he ended up starting his own company, and it's taken off like a rocket, in my opinion. And I'm nothing but proud of it. I'm I'm I support it, and I want to see nothing but big things out of it because everyone there deserves everyone. Like I said, everyone there deserves to be at the top, to have their moment. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. So we're gonna start this segment called Trev Shock.
What's it called?
It's where you get 50 seconds to answer 6 questions.
Hmm. Okay.
And Miss Claire Carter has the record of 37 seconds remaining. So,
Oh, I know her. Yeah, she's. You know what? Let me give her a shout out. She is real good. She's her and her husband Jack, uh
mhm,
JAC. They're really cool people. They're
yep,
real down to earth, humble people. She's another one that deserves to get signed to the big three. So there you go. Her and Jack JAC. They both deserve to get that shot at the big time.
yep. I 100% agree with that.
So Claire, if
All
you're
right.
watching, Trent Nitro gave you a shout out. I pushed you right there. All right, if she ever watches this, so
She
she knows who I am.
probably will,
She knows who I
since
am.
her and her husband follow the podcast.
Okay, well they know who I am, so yeah.
Yep. It always, for me, when we have like all these wrestlers that follow me, I always follow them back and be like, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast?" Because I'm like, it don't hurt to get them out here or get people recognized around the world, since we're now in 9 different countries, counting the USA. Which I asked my buddy, he's been in the wrestling business for a good bit too, and he was like, that's really impressive for a company that's been in not even a year yet.
Hmm. Now what
And I
company is
was like,
this?
it's my podcast company. I call it a
Oh,
company since we do like T-shirts with our logos on it and
oh
eight by
man,
tens for events.
I gotta get one of your T-shirts.
Yeah, we actually got a T-shirt contest going on, which I'll go ahead and plug that while it's talking about T-shirts. Um, so guys, we have a T-shirt contest going on right now. If you go to the link tree on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, now known as X, Facebook, YouTube, working on getting it on Spotify. Um, Same thing with iHeartRadio and Apple. We're still working on. But we have 5 designs made by a professional company. Which let me go ahead and pull that up so then I can show you guys the logos, since I usually don't. But let's see. Wrestler, go to that one. So we have 5 logos, which a random winner will be chosen the Monday after WrestleCade.
Oh wow, okay. Are you
Since
gonna
we'll
be
be
at?
at WrestleCade.
Oh, you're gonna be
Uh,
there. Okay.
yeah,
I was
we're
asking,
gonna
are you
be
gonna be
there
there?
Saturday
Okay,
with the likes hands of Corey Dillinger,
I know him.
Rafael Delgado, and Tommy Okami.
Okay.
So, guys, these are the logos we got. We got that good logo
Oh,
right there.
nice.
We got that one right there.
Okay.
Logo number 3, logo number 4, and logo number 5, which will all be on T-shirts. And we will also have them on sale at WrestleCade, so that we can get bigger stars. I'm trying to one day get Deanna Peraza on this podcast and
Nice.
totally forget what I'm going to say the whole time, since been watching her since she debuted for NXT.
Oh wow.
NXT, TNA, watched all of her matches, which all my friends ask me is like, if you meet her, what's going to happen? And I'm like, probably just going to be speechless.
Well, she might be at Wrestle K.
She's already booked
Yeah.
for Wrestle K too, so
Oh wow. Okay.
she was the third announcement they had.
Hmm.
But back to the t-shirt contest. You guys pick your shirt size you need, which logo, your Instagram, and then your name, so then I can make a little video saying, "Hey, congratulations to the winners!" Like if Trent, you win it, I'll say, "Congratulations to Trent Nitro," and then be shipping your shirt and then a thank you card with it too.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to start this Trev Shock?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna get my little timer. Okay. All right, so I'll start the timer after the first question.
Okay.
All right, favorite pre-show snack?
Monster Energy.
Favorite song to go to before a show?
Oh man, that's Derek Minor. One of Derek Minor's songs.
Pre-show. Oh, we already answered that. Pre-show snack. We already did. Favorite wrestler growing up?
Shawn Michaels.
Favorite sports team?
Baltimore Ravens.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite type of music?
It's got to be hip hop and 80s rock.
Okay. So you had it with 28 seconds remaining. So 9 minutes for the record. 9 seconds for the record.
Oh, so I beat Clara.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't beat
Hers was
what?
37.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
It cracks me up. I recorded an episode with somebody, and he just broke the record and everything. And then I had Claire Carter come on right after it to do her episode, and he goes, "I want a redo," and I'm like, "You're gonna have to talk to me like maybe in like 6 or 9 months about that after I change up the questions." Because like an OG question we had was, "What was your favorite Looney Tunes character?"
Uh, Porky Pig. Remember Porky Pig?
Porky. Okay.
The stuttering pig. He's pretty cool.
Mine was Bugs Bunny, of course,
Oh,
behind Tasmanian Devil.
you got to pick somebody that's like that people don't expect you to answer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
everybody expects you to say Bugs Bunny. Like there's Bugs Bunny and not Daffy Duck. Yeah, Daffy Duck is like the ones who are like up there.
and Sylvester's another one I love watching.
Yeah.
All right, what is the biggest challenge of being a professional wrestler outside of the ring?
I think it's mentally, um, getting prepared, getting your head prepared for what you're about to go through. You know, because it's like
Yeah,
it's like if it's the old saying is if you don't get nervous when you're behind the curtain, then you might as well quit. I always get nervous. It's like before I go out, I just have to I literally have to start slapping myself, slapping my chest and arms and stuff like that, and dousing myself with water because it's like as soon as that music hits, you never get. It's nothing. It's not anything you get used to. It's just here you go. You about to go out in front of these people. You're about to show them what you got. You know, it's not. People think it's like I hate when people disrespect it because it's like, dude, you don't know how hard it is. It's like you're going out there. You get all these jitters going through your body. Then you got to remember, your match. Then you got to wrestle your match. It's like, and that ring hurts. You know what I'm saying? It hurts. It really does hurt. So it's like it takes a special, form of people to do this. It's not a, it's not a trampoline whatsoever. I hate when people disrespect it because it's like there's nothing. People use the word, that word they use. Some people they use the F word. Is far from that. Far from it. It's as real as real can get. You know, emotions, real emotions can you can throw your real emotions inside that ring. You know,
Yeah.
you look at a storyline. Just going off history here. If we look at Matt Hardy and Edge and Lita, that was a real legit storyline. You know, that was a real. Those were based off real emotions. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing. There's nothing. Uh, what's the word? There's nothing artificial about what we do. It's all it's all authentic and real. We're actually putting our bodies out there. We're going out there putting our bodies on the line for the people, and not just for the people. It's just because we love it. Also, we have the passion for it. It's like some for some of us, it's therapy. Getting inside that ring is therapy for us. So it's like you have to get inside that ring in order to be at peace. And some people don't get that. You know, there's always something. There's
Yeah.
always an outlet that you have that will bring you peace, whether it's wrestling or music or even video games or whatever. It's always something that helps you. And that's what I think is the beauty of wrestling. It's like people disrespecting. It's like, why disrespect it? Some people need to be in that ring every weekend. It's a need for some people. And I think we don't realize how much of a need that is for some people. You know,
For sure. What is your favorite hobbies outside of the wrestling world?
I'm in two bands. Well, I was in three actual bands. I'm in a worship church band right now, but I'm getting ready to transition into another worship band. I'm getting ready to leave that band and transition into another band, just because it's time for me to transition. And I was a part of this uh, metalcore hardcore band, but we're on hiatus right now. Um, I was once a part of like four bands at one time, but one of them got dissolved because of some issues. We had a female lead singer, and she was having some issues, so that got disbanded. We were like really on our way to making some good money, but things happen. Um, fitness, going to the gym, of course, that's a necessity, and video games. I don't care what people say. It's like, they say you're a grown man, you're not supposed to be playing video games. It's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with it,
Right.
as long as it's not obsessive, that's what I look at it as.
It's like for me, like my hobbies, I play video games a lot with, I got family across the world, so we play video games as a way to hang out and
Oh wow.
connect with each other. And then like going to church for me on Sundays and then go to men's Bible study on Mondays. They're always a big thing because a lot of my friends go there
Yeah.
and we're always happy to see each other. Like we schedule sometimes lunch or whatever it is.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, not to put everything spiritual on all of a sudden, but it's like we as humans living in this world, it's like, how can you not believe that there's something bigger and higher that has,
Yeah.
that is controlling all of this? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, well, a lot of people that don't believe in God, and it's like I asked them that question. I said, of course, how can you not believe that there is a God? It's like none of this came from nowhere. You get what I'm saying? It's like it
Hmm.
boils down to the point of so deep as in you think about waking up every day. You can't wake yourself up every day. There has to be something that pulls you out of that sleep. Does that make sense? There has to
Yeah.
be something because some people, you think about it, for example, 500, for example, 1,000 people woke up this morning, right? Or more than that. But I'm just using this as an example. 1,000 people woke up this morning. Also, too, 1,000 babies were born this morning. And then 1,000 people died this morning, all simultaneously at the same time. As crazy as it may sound, I mean, that's what happened. You know, it's like right now,
Yeah.
a kid is being born right now while
Hmm.
somebody else is taking their last breath right now at the same time. You know, I don't mean to get too deep into it, but it's like that's, you know,
Let's see. If you could wrestle any legendary wrestler from the past, who would it be and why? Living or dead?
oh man, it's a hard one. Uh, Jeez. I want to say living. Like, if I could wrestle somebody living, it'd be Shawn Michaels, just because he's the reason why the majority of wrestlers are wrestling today, along with like Daniel Bryan. And then as far as those who are dead, um, two to be exact, it'd be Junkyard Dog and Rick Rude.
Okay.
Um, Junkyard Dog because obviously with me being African American, he paved the way for so much of us. And Rick Rude is because he was as real as you can get. He had the body. He was the original body guy. Besides, superstar Billy Graham and all of them, but he was, you can just tell he was a real legit dude. You know, you got what you saw is what you get. You know,
Yeah. If you could attend a wrestling seminar session with any wrestler, who would you pick?
uh man, I've been to so many seminars. So I've already done an Earl Hebner seminar. I've already done a Tommy Rich seminar. Uh, let's see. I think I've done a Ricky Morton seminar. Hmm. I don't want. I want to say. I gotta say Rick Rude because if I say I was gonna say Shawn Michaels, but everybody's gonna be like, of course you're gonna say that. But I'm gonna have to say Rick Rude, and then Randy Savage, Macho Man Randy Savage. Even though they're both not here
Okay.
anymore, I would attend those seminars. Just because Randy
Yeah,
Savage was. Go ahead.
yeah, as many times I hear people say Triple H and Shawn just because of the business side of WWE, and I'm like, I get that all. Like for me, I would do it just because one of my goals is to have my own promotion, which one of my investors are actually going to be building a gymnasium with 2 locker rooms
Oh,
and everything. And I was like, so guess this is an idea that we're just starting a promotion.
nice.
Is that because that's how it sounds to my end where they're taking it. Um, if you could have a wrestling legend as your mentor, who would you choose?
Uh, Actually, I've already pretty much got one. Even though me and him, we only talk. I only see him every now and then, and we don't really talk like that. I don't even have his phone number. But I would say Ron Simmons. Me and him have connected on several times. As he still remembers who I am, still knows who I am. every time I talk to him, it's like he gives me advice not only about wrestling but about life itself. So I kind of view that as a mentor thing. He's pretty cool. He's another one that's up there as in uh if I could have a match with anybody, it'd be him. If he was able to. Because he's another one that paved the way for a lot of people. Him
What
and
was it like working with a particular wrestler that you really clicked with in the ring?
uh, let's see who I really click with. I really can't say my trainer Hang Time because it was like I can't say him because every time me and him lock horns in the ring, it's like it's kind of a cheating type of way because like he knows me and I know him and it's kind of like an off night. Basically, it's like I don't have to worry as much or be jittery. Uh, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say my buddy Pat Powers. Um, he's another guy up in Nebraska that's doing big things. Look him up. Uh, he back then I never really got tired in a match. This was like in 2014. The first match me and him had, we're buddies, but that was like the first time I got blown up in a match with me and him. We had the crowd. The crowd was into the match, and it was just like it was a good match. But by the end of it, I was like blown up. I was surprised. I'm like, man, I love the dude, but good lord, I'm blown up. It's like the first time I've ever been blown up. You know, in a match. That was really good, a real good match between me and him.
Um, what is your favorite gear that you have ever had made?
Oh man. Well, I have my own gear maker. She's a family member of mine. Be my aunt that lives in Charlotte. She makes my gear. Um, as far as choosing a favorite, uh, I'm gonna have to say the most recent one was like the red, white, and blue racer font one that she made for me back in sometime last year. But that was a hard one to choose because it's like I got so many now. I'm gonna say that one, and then there's this pair of before she started making my gear, I used to have to go to high spots and buy stuff. So I want to say there was this pair of orange and yellow tie dye tights that I bought from high spots. Those were my favorites, and those were the ones I won the cruiserweight championship in. But I ended up giving those. I got so many tights in my bag. I ended up giving those away to somebody. Um, at a next level show because they didn't have any gear with them. So I ended up giving those away, and I was like, "Yo, oh well, you can have them now." I think I gave them away to this guy named Chris Fallow. I think yeah, I think that was him. Yeah, I gave those to him. So I was like, "You can have them, man." Those. But as far as like the ones that my aunt has made for me, she's made about like 8 pairs of tights for me. But I want to say like the most recent one, like the red and white and blue ones, with like my name on the side. It's pretty much my favorite so far. It's like as far as then there's this also like this gold pair that I have in my bag. It's for my tag team called Real Steel because our colors were red and gold. So she made me a gold pair of those tights. I still haven't worn them because there's a good reason why. Because we haven't teamed in a long time. But the gold pair it would have to be a good night for me to wear those things. So,
And then where can they find you on social media?
uh, you find me on Instagram at Trent Nitro. Trent Nitro at Trent Nitro 5X. It's all lowercase. The 5X Trent Nitro 5X 5 times, meaning that I cheated death 5 times, literally. Um, and then Facebook, you can just type in Trent Nitro, and just find the guy, find the one with me wearing the vest with the stars, the blue stars and stripes on it, with my abs and my chest flexing. That's the one. And let's see, that's it. Because I used to have a Twitter, but I don't have my Twitter already got suspended or hacked or something like that.
All right. Thank you, Trent, for being on the podcast today.
My pleasure, bro.
Um, Huge shout outs to the sponsors of TBD Wrestling, Wrestling Evolution, and Apple City Championship Wrestling. And guys, we will see you next time.
Peace out.